You're shut down. I mean, you can't go to a live play, but yes, you can here in Cedar City, but not till the end of October. Richard Bugg, the founder of Simon Fest, used to be known as the Neil Simon Festival. Long story, but he passed away and his estate didn't want us to use the name, so that we dropped it everywhere except on Facebook, and they have a mind of their own. So it still says Neil Simon Festival there. And Rick and I have tried every form of communication you can, and we can't get them to change the name. So anyway, we are going to have a play this fall. Rick's going to talk about it. The basics are this. It doesn't need rehearsal. This is a play that we've performed all across the country for several years. It's Driving Miss Daisy, which is really topical today. And it was a Pulitzer Prize winning play. And it stars Clarence Gilliard and Cherie J. Wilson from Walker, Texas Ranger, and Rick Bugg. So it's 3 persons, so we can control the stage and the set, which is very small. And our ticketing system will socially distance the theater purchaser. So you wear a mask into the lobby. Obviously take it off if you buy a candy bar or drink something, but wear it into the theater, and once you're seated, you can take your mask off and watch the play, and it's fine. So we think that'll work. We have to figure out how to deal with COVID anyway. Everybody says, well, we'll get a vaccine and it's over. Well, I'm not so sure about that. You just don't know, but we're gonna have to continue. We're gonna have to have a life, and we're gonna have to figure out how to do these things. My grandparents didn't hide underneath their beds when the world was rampant with diseases before vaccines, so I think we can probably deal with this one. So anyway, without any more, this is the 18th season of Simon Fest. Founder Richard Bugg.
There are many great stories from my family tree. I have read the personal histories of immigrants with their difficult journeys, engineers and their creations, mothers and their stories of love and sacrifice. I have read of kings and queens, authors and clerics, masons, wheelwrights, and shopkeepers. Of course, most of them don't have written histories, but they have stories nonetheless. With only bare statistical information, I can imagine their life journeys, their risks, their joys, their failures, their hard-earned wisdom. One of my ancestors in particular has always intrigued me. He lived during the 9th century, and the only information I have is his name, location of his death, and the fact that he was hung as a horse thief. My mind's eye is often filled in the details of that man's life. He may have been a rogue and a scallywag of the First Order, focused wholly on himself and egocentric his entire life. I like to imagine, however, that he may have been a father, desperate to provide for his children, who made a poor choice that led to his death and to social shame for his family. I imagine his shame and sorrow and desire for redemption. While he may have stolen the horse, I imagine that he also had that great moment with his teenage daughter, who felt lost and without purpose. I imagine that he sat with her and without judgment held her hand and told her the great pride that he had in her, the great hope that she represented to him, and that he shared with her his innate, if imperfect, understanding of her role in the universe. I see him sharing through words or actions or simple silence his love and hopes for her. I imagine that she passed on that hope and her gained wisdom to her son or daughter, and that he or she passed it on to others, so that a collective wisdom, hope, and honor for each other has helped make up a family heritage. My chosen profession is the world of theater. My own father was supportive of whatever I wanted to do with my life, but he counseled me to be sure I gained marketable skills and that I make sure I was offering the world something of good report and praiseworthy. During my training as an actor, I had a professor that often told me, "Don't take yourself so seriously. This isn't cancer research." He was right about my taking myself too seriously. I had to learn how to relax and take joy in each moment and discovery. However, I always wanted my work to have the importance of cancer research. Over my own life's journey, I have come to believe that the three most important things in life are the three S's: shelter, sustenance, and storytelling. The reason that we can put storytelling on par with the other two life-sustaining items is that storytelling defines us, gives us purpose. It is the means by which we gain and retain wisdom. Humans tell stories. Our personal life experiences are not enough to provide the understanding and wisdom necessary for a full and meaningful life. We must learn from each other. We gain the wisdom of each other's perspectives vicariously through stories. The true art of storytelling takes the listener, reader, or watcher on a cathartic journey. It is that all-important catharsis that teaches us empathy as we see life from another's perspective. It is empathy that leads to understanding and peace in the world. So, Dad, I'm happy to report that while my work is not cancer research, it is an essential element for a peaceful world. Like everything in life, the power of storytelling can be misused and usurped. I have sadly observed through my lifetime a shift in the theatrical community from honest, cathartic storytelling toward propagandist presentations in homage to the new religion of political correctness. So much of today's storytelling is dishonest and misleading, allowing only twisted or half-truths, and relies on rabble-rousing in place of an honest, cathartic journey. I have no argument with storytellers that have a political message, but if the story doesn't allow its listener to experience the journey honestly, then there is no catharsis, and therefore no empathy, only misplaced anger and narrow judgment. This new religion seeks to impose Orwellian newspeak standards, so that only certain stories from certain perspectives can be told, all designed, as Mr. Orwell wrote, to diminish the range of thought. We are even asked to cancel, destroy, or rewrite the stories from our past. The experiences of an individual, real or fictional, are no longer acceptable if they don't meet the political correctness standard. Many of Shakespeare's characters don't fit the new paradigm, and so must be changed, forgotten, or done away with. One of my personal heroes from our nation's history is Thomas Jefferson. He was a man born to privilege and to a tradition of slavery. Yet despite the temptations of such a life towards sloth and self-aggrandizement, he worked tirelessly all his life to define and establish a better way of life for all. He risked everything to establish a government that could eventually provide freedom and opportunity for all. He was forced to compromise his hopes, knowing that eventually those compromises would lead to painful and bloody conflicts, but he believed that the compromises were necessary lest no progress at all be made. Today, because he and his accomplishments were imperfect, many are attempting to cancel and erase his story. In 2004, a remarkably talented man, Mel Gibson, fulfilled a long-time dream by making a movie about the crucifixion of Christ. For months following the movie's release, Mr. Gibson was hounded, excoriated, threatened, and shamed by groups, including extremist Jewish organizations, that didn't like the way he told his story. In frustration and sorrow, Mr. Gibson drank himself to a stupor one night and made the mistake of lashing out at the Jewish community. Among most of the Hollywood set, and consequently among a large part of the world community, Mel Gibson is now persona non grata and must never be forgiven. his story is ignored as much as possible. Over the past 2 months, we have observed many groups in our country that seek to cancel the stories of anyone whom they disagree with or whose imperfections don't meet the PC standards. It is a frightening time. Surely my horse thief ancestor's story cannot be told in such an atmosphere. My own life's mission has become the struggle to preserve and spread the true art of storytelling. It is my belief that it is the only cure for the strife that currently besets us. We must learn again to open our hearts and minds to the cathartic journeys that true storytelling affords us. We can gain empathy from the honest stories of people from all walks of life and from every era. I know that my circle of influence is tiny, but I still must tell my stories in my own community and hope that the little ripple in our little pond will expand to influence others. I'm grateful to the Rotary Club for the stories that you tell, for we all are storytellers. Using our varying gifts, we share stories in our own ways. I'm also grateful for the support that the Rotary has provided to the Simon Festival. Your recognition of the importance and quality of our work means a great deal to me. I'm excited about the stories we will be telling in our upcoming season. As Neil already pointed out, we will begin by bringing to Cedar City a show that has been touring the country for the past several years. It is a timely piece as it tells the story of how love can conquer racial prejudice. Television stars Cherie J. Wilson and Clarence Gilliard star in Alfred Urey's Driving Miss Daisy. I have the privilege of playing Daisy's son in this 3-person Pulitzer Prize-winning play. It is funny, heartwarming, and moving. I sincerely hope you will join us on October 29th, 30th, and 31st at 7 p.m. at the Heritage Theater. For the Christmas season, we will be producing a staged radio play version of It's a Wonderful Life. A great example of the true art of storytelling, this story has influenced millions and even saved many from their contemplations of suicide by helping them see the worth of even the simplest of lives. In 2021, we will resume our summer season with 4 great shows in repertory. Clarence Gilliard will star in a one-man show about Alonzo Fields, who served as a butler in the White House through the terms of Herbert Hoover, Franklin Roosevelt, Harry Truman, and Dwight D. Eisenhower. He was a man with a story to tell, and he tells it with humor, pathos, and a gained wisdom about freedom, power, and the human condition. The play is entitled Looking Over the President's Shoulder by James Still. We will also be producing a 2-person musical of growing popularity entitled Daddy Longlegs, based on the classic novel by Gene Webster. It is a unique love story and suitable for the whole family. Third on our list is Baskerville, a Sherlock Holmes mystery by Ken Ludwig, author of Lend Me a Tenor and many other farces and comedies. Baskerville faithfully tells the Arthur Conan Doyle story, but with very clever staging and theatricality, using 5 actors to create more than 40 characters. And finally, you can watch the diabolically clever Death Trap by Ira Levin. Death Trap provides twists and turns of devilish cleverness and offers hilariously sudden shocks in such abundance that audiences will be spellbound until the very last moment. I so look forward to our being able to once again share our stories face to face. It is an important part of every healthy community to go on our cathartic journey together from time to time in a darkened theater. I want to assure you we will be following all of the COVID-19 guidelines for safety. We may not be able to sit next to each other, but we can still share in a wonderful communal experience. If you have a place at your business where you can put rack cards, please take one of the displays on the table. There are more on the table in the back and many more cards as well, and help us get the word out about Driving Miss Daisy. Thank you all for your great gifts to this community and for your stories. Questions? Yes.
How long is It's a Wonderful Life going to run in December? Like, is it just gonna be like a weekend? Or-
It's, I think there are 3 performances. It's on, well, actually, it's not on there. Maybe it is. Does it say?
18th, 19th, and 21st of December.
Yeah, 18th, 19th, and 21st. So it skips the Sunday, forwards a Friday, Saturday,
It's
and
on
Monday.
that sheet, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yes.
Have you posted any of your comments about political correctness? Your comments should get out there somewhere.
Yeah, excellent.
I tried sharing some of them on Facebook and was overwhelmed by hatred and it was too much.
Really?
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe the reaction of a lot of people that I know and many former students. They were just lambasting me, and so
I'd like to hear from them and see what their problem is.
yeah. Well, they believe it really has become a religion for many, and anyone who says anything against it is not to be heard from. So. Any other questions, comments? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.